target to. Then the last thing is your objectives. Importance of the project. You have to state that, and also you have to outline the objectives of the project. So the objectives are the various actions that help you to achieve the aim. These are two typical examples of introduction. So like I said, you start off by, let's start with the design is an eco resource. So I started by defining what a resource is. I hope it's clear. You can identify the aim and objectives here too. Because of the time, I'll do statements. Okay. So like I said, this is just giving an idea of how an introduction sheet should look like. So all the things I mentioned, if you take a close look, you find them here. So we'll continue. After everything, we'll take questions. So now to the case study. First of all, every case study should have project details. And what do I mean by project details? The location of the project, the designer of the project, the year in which the project was built, and then the floor area of the project. I'm taking it again, the location, the designer, the year, and the area. The other information you get, you can add it. So for every case study, the first thing you should look at is given the project details. That is also more like the background. And we move on to the concept. So for every case study, you have to find out what the concept of that project is. The concept or the philosophy. So the concept is the idea behind the design. So an example could be the use of the colors, the use of textures to blend with the environment, the use of wide openings to connect the inside and outside spaces. All these are concepts, right? And then also we have the philosophy. So design strategies used. Example, passive architecture, iconic architecture, less is more. I'm sure probably you've heard of those philosophies. I'm not so sure. But then, like I said, we'll open up for questions. Okay. And also we look at the design brief. So the thing is, the aim of the case study is to help you come up with a reasonable design. So there's nothing new under the sun. So for every project you are given, you have to research and find out past projects that have been done, right? Okay. So that is the essence of the case study. So the case study is not just to go online, get pictures of a project and write some things under. No, no, no. It has to be specific. So these are the areas I'm giving you: project details, concept, philosophy, materials used. I think I mentioned that. And get of the projects you are doing the case study on. It will help you know how to go about your plan. When you get to the design drawing stage, it will help you know how to go about your plan. Can I continue?
Sure, please continue.
Okay, okay. Yes. So, and also at the end of it all, you have to let us know what the summary of the findings you got from the case study that you can apply to your design. Okay, so let's continue. So this is also a typical case study sheet. So I mentioned project details. That's what we have here as a description. So the location of the project, designer, blah, 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 like I mentioned. And then the concept of the project. And then the building materials that were used, the design brief, as you can clearly see here. So the essence of finding out the design brief from your case study is to help you also develop your brief. Like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. So if you are tasked to design a school, you cannot now go and brainstorm about on your own about spaces you can have in a school. Schools exist, you get it. So you have to do a case study on an existing school, so you get to know the design brief. I hope you all understand design brief. The spaces you need in a design. So let's say a school, the design brief, we have classrooms, we have offices, we have assembly hall, we have playground. Yes, that's the design brief. Okay. So it's the same for this description, philosophy, concepts, building materials. So the aim is to derive some form of information from this to apply in your design. Okay, so let's continue. So now, technical studies. So this has to do with doing some kind of like special studies into the project. So there are certain projects that you have to do some extra studies. So let's say there will be installation of CCTV cameras in your project. There will be installation of some alarm systems um, and all that. You have to do a study on those things, how they would work, how they will be installed, and all that. Okay. So this is a typical technical study sheet. So the one on the left is a sheet on automated systems. This is still the eco resource design. So I had to do some special studies on the kind of sensors, the kind of fire sprinkler systems that will be used in the building. And the one on the right too is construction details of round earth. So I'm going to use round earth as the main construction material. And since it's not a common everyday material that is used, there had to be a special study on it. So once there's something not regular about your design or something extra, you have to do some research into it to, keep us informed. Okay. So now we are going to the site study. So we have the site inventory and then the site analysis. So the site inventory is taking pictures of the site from all possible views to help you analyze your site. So let's say you go to the site, there's a road in front of your site, you take a picture of that shot. Maybe on the eastern side of the site, there are some trees lined up over there, you take pictures of it. So anything you can take sites, you have to do that. And then with the analysis, there's a criteria. We'll go there in the next slide. And also, your analysis sheet should have a site section. This is to help you know the slope, I mean the terrain of the site, whether it's flat, whether it's undulating, whether it's sloping. And then also your design intervention. Per your analysis of the site,